want to show you how to make something that I absolutely love. These are little mini books, and they are made out of one 12 by 12 inch sheet of designer paper. So I want to show you a few samples of themes that you can do, and really the themes on these are endless. This first one is Jonas. This is my grandson, and I did one for him on his favorite things. And I just got these off of the internet. Picture of him fishing with Grandpa, his favorite place he likes to go to dinner with me. So this is just his favorite things. And then another one I did, and I don't actually have these glued in, but you can see the cover is Our Home. I thought this would be fun to look back on, like when your kids grow up and they want to look back on your home and what it looked like. The guest room where the kids stayed. This one is just a wood pattern, that's all. So you don't really need to do something really fancy. The simpler it is, the more your own pictures are going to show up. Another one I did is My Favorite Things. And then another one I have is Vision for Flying High in Freedom, and this is in part of Thin Within that I'm in. And what I did with this one is I formatted them onto pieces of cardstock, and then I cut them out. So like this one would be punched out with a circle punch, and then this one actually is a framelit, but you can also just do them just little squares like that. And then I matted them and little stickers, you know, for scrapbooking. So that's that one. And then one more is Truths for the Thin Within Journey. And it's the same idea. I've got all these formatted onto printables, and you just would print them out onto cardstock, punch them out, and then decorate it as you wish. Okay. So what we're going to do is I'm going to line this up on the 3-inch mark and make sure it's even all the way down. That's really important. It can maybe feel like it is up here, but it really needs to be even or your book will be wonky. Okay, get your cutting blade out of the way for right now. Okay, so we're just going to score. That was at 3 inches. Now I'm going to go over to 6 inches. Make sure it's even top to bottom. And again, score. And now I'm going to go over to 9 inches and score. Now I'm just going to turn it 90 degrees and do the same exact thing that I just did. You could mark all this with your ruler and pencil and all that. It's just a whole lot easier this way. So there we go. All right, so now you're going to turn it to a side where you can see your lines the best. On this side, I can hardly even see them. This side, it's not great, but so what I'm going to do is start at one end, and I'm just going to cut along that line. You can do it on the paper trimmer, but I find it a lot harder to be accurate, and you really want to do this perfectly because these little pages are going to line up exactly as you have cut them. So now I'm going to the other end, so the opposite end from this. I cut that 3 blocks. Okay, so I ended at the 4th. Now, I'm actually going to fold it a little bit so that I can just see those lines better. Yeah. Okay. Now, because this pattern has lines in it, it's making it a little bit difficult to see. So, okay, so I got that next one done, and now I'm going to turn it back around and do the third one. What I'm going to do now is start folding, and I'm just going to basically do the accordion. If you've got a bone folder, that's going to help, but you can also use your scissors handle or a knife handle or a spoon handle or whatever. So can you see I'm just going one way, other way, one way. Now this way, in case you're mixed up, if you start going that way, you're not going to be able to do anything. So you've got to go, it'll kind of help guide you as you go. So I'm going to keep going. And going. Now I can see it's getting just a little bit wonky. So at this point is where I can actually kind of move things a little bit more to get them exactly how I want them. Okay. Now again, I'm not going to fold in that way. even if I forget, because you can get mixed up kind of going around the corners. So it's real clear that I need to go that way or I will not be going anywhere. Okay, so I just keep going back and forth, and back, 2 at a time that time, and that. All right, so I'm going to do some extra pressing here. All right, so now what I'm going to do is get a cover, and the way this is going to sit is these edge pieces are going to sit right in here. So your cover needs to be, you're going to account for an extra 1/8 inch here, an 1/8 inch here, but you don't want an 1/8 inch here. That is your spine, and I've got a little piece of sticky tape. It's just an extra strong adhesive that's on there, and I didn't go all the way up to the top because my book doesn't go all the way up to the top. I will peel that off once I'm ready to do it, and this will sit on there, and then this piece sits right here. So the dimensions for this, obviously this book is 3 inches by 3 inches, and if I want an extra 1/8 inch here, that's going to be a 1/4 inch total. So you can see that so that your cover is going to be 3 1/4 inches high, and then you're going to need an extra 1/8 inch here and here, so that adds on another 1/4 inch to what would be 6 inches, but you're also going to add on enough for your spine. Okay, so that's about 1/4 of an inch. Now if you were to do cardstock, that would be a lot thicker, just because it's maybe half again as thick as this. So I just go by what this looks like, and I just add that to the width of my cover. So my cover needs to be 6 inches to cover this and this, another 1/4 inch to cover the 1/8 inch that I want as the little edge there, and then whatever else that's going to be, you just add that onto it, and that's how you come up with your cover dimensions. So now what to do with these. This can be tricky, but if you do them just 2 at a time, then it actually is really easy. So keep in mind that they're not going to be gluing these together. This piece is only to sit right here, and it's only 1 thickness. So what I'm going to do is I can see that these 2 pieces are going to need to be glued together. And you want to get it somewhat close to the edge without hanging out, so just be kind of careful. Okay, so remember, nothing with this, and then these 2 guys go together. And I want to make sure that they're nice and straight. And now I'm going to go the next 2 pieces. So these 2 had a fold here. These 2 have their fold in another place. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to glue them together. I had to pull that out just so I could get at this part so I can get it glued. Okay, so remember, that's going to just go back over to here. Okay, and you really want to make sure you really press them. I'm kind of being quick right now, but you be aware of that as you're going. Okay, now we've got 2 more pieces right here, 2 more pages, I should say. And basically, if you always just put the glue on the piece that's closest to what you've been working on, you will not get mixed up and put wrong ones together. So I'll put this back like this. And now, see, all this can just be really confusing, but don't worry about this. That's why I said just start at one end and just keep doing 1 at a time, 1 at a time, 1 at a time. And again, instead of doing 1 over here, maybe getting mixed up, I just do 1 closest to the end that I'm working on, that I have already been gluing. Okay, so then I'll pull that back over. All right, so then I've got those 2 to put together, those 2 to put together, and those 2 to put together. And then that'll be all done, and it'll be ready to put together into your book. And put that little spine, you just pull that off. And what I do is I'll glue one of these, and then do the spine, and then glue the other one. Sometimes you have to do a little bit of pulling around to get it to look right, to be centered. I wouldn't start in the middle because you really want to get your paper lined up with your cover, not so much your spine. That will just kind of fall in place as you go. All right, and then you're free to put your little punched items in here, your pictures, whatever you're going to do, and then decorate your cover. And then I also like to use 4-inch square Ziplocs that I bought special just for this, and keep it in that, especially if it's going in my purse. It needs to have a lot of protection in there. this together. They're really fun, and I would love to see anything that you put together. So put pictures of yours in the comments so that I can see your works of art. So thank you for watching.